My name is Jamie Stewart. I am English teacher at Southwest Christian Academy, and I am the director responsible for the classic literature program here at Southwest Christian Academy as well. And you, as a 7th grader, are beginning a 6-year process of exposure to classics that many people over generations have read. And so one of the wonderful things about classic literature, it is not necessarily to entertain the same way that your favorite television show or your favorite video game entertains you. Classic literature, we as sophisticated people, we consume classic literature in order to sort of share some of the same beautiful and thought-provoking stories and high-quality writing. We share that with generations past. Some of the people that you really admire in history were people who read the same books that you're reading in the next 6 years here at Southwest Christian Academy. So, for example, we are beginning, the very first book that you're going to read is Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. I have 2 copies of it here. This is a very inexpensive copy from Barnes & Noble for $5.95. So they had plenty of these when I bought them this year. And then also here's a little larger print copy with a different introduction. It's got actually an introduction by Virginia Woolf in here, and then some notes in the back. This one also came from Barnes & Noble. This one, though, was $7.95, so neither were very expensive. And you can also find electronic texts online, some for free. This book has been in the public domain for quite a long time. This copy of the book has 282 pages. This copy of the book has 301 pages, really similar. The book is smaller print, easier to carry around. At roughly 300 pages. And you have a little less than a month to read. So let's assume 3 weeks. 300 pages, that means 100 pages a week, right? If you want to break it down further, then in weekdays, 20 pages a weekday, if you want to take the weekends off. So you just need to pace yourself and get through the book, and make sure that you don't put yourself in the position to feel the temptation to lie and say that you finished a book that you didn't finish. We expect you to read the entire book yourself. Now, one way, if you have trouble reading for long periods of time, one way to experience this great literature is to find a good audiobook. Many times these audiobooks cost money, although you can find Robinson Crusoe on YouTube. There's an audiobook that someone has put on YouTube, and there may be more than one. But if you choose an audiobook, you can enjoy it that way many times, especially when the language, it's English, of course, but it's an older version of English, and so you may benefit from having someone who knows the material reading it to you while you follow along or otherwise. And so at Southwest Christian Academy, listening to an audiobook is equivalent to reading the text. You may sign the statement at the end of the process when you turn in your final paper. You may sign it and say, I read the entire book, if you listen to the entire book with an unabridged audiobook. However, you must have and bring to class a copy of the actual book. You need it for 2 reasons. One is because I may assign you specific reading in class. Another reason is because when you do your references for papers, you'll need to have a page number, and it's much easier to make notes and maybe bend a page down to remember a great quote that you want to include in your paper. It's just a good idea to have the physical book, and we want you to have it in class. parents, if you're concerned, yes, I did say it. Audiobook is equivalent to reading because we want them to enjoy and consume all of the text and understand it so they can critically think about the text. If 1/3 of the words they're reading are words they haven't yet committed to their vocabulary, then it would be very difficult to form sophisticated thoughts about it. However, if they hear someone speak the word with the correct pronunciation in context, it will be added to their vocabulary much faster. I like the audiobook idea. So if that makes you enjoy it better, then please take advantage of that opportunity. Otherwise, just begin reading 20 pages a day, 100 pages a week, and then you will be prepared for it when it's time to turn in the work products. There are 4 very important dates every quarter that you need to know. First is Book Check Day. Book Check Day is the last day you have to get your book and have it in class. On Book Check Day, you will show us the book, you'll show your English teacher the book, and then we will record a 100% quiz grade for having your book at class on Book Check Day. And then from that point forward, you must bring your book every day. If you do not have the book, then we will first give you a 0 for the book check quiz, and then we will order the book and apply the cost of the book to your account. So if you want us to order the book, don't wait till Book Check Day to tell us because you'll get a 0 on a quiz. If you'd like for me to order the book, tell me well in advance of Book Check Day and I'll put you on the list and you will not get a 0 for that quiz grade. Second is outline date. For every book that you read, you'll have a writing project to do. And the first step of your writing project is to provide an outline that tells us what your thesis is for this paper, and it shows all of your major points and your conclusion all wrapped up in a nice 1-page APA format outline. So that is due. You'll turn that outline in on Google Classroom for your class, and you can just check the schedule, which is on Google Classroom, as to when that outline is due. And then the following Friday, after that is due, you will have to turn in a rough draft of your paper. And the rough draft is the full paper. However, you do not get marks off the paper for formatting, spelling, any of that stuff. The point is that you turn it in and it is complete. That it has your thesis that you plan to use, it has your conclusion that you plan to use, and it has fully fleshed out points that support your thesis. That way we can take a look at it together, we can make whatever adjustments we think would help your paper, and then you have 1 additional week to turn in the final paper. So look for those 4 dates: book check date, outline date, rough draft date, final draft date. The calendar for all of these dates, it's in the paperwork that you received at orientation, and then it's also on Google Classroom. And please make sure that you have those dates in your personal calendar so that you don't miss them, because each of the subsequent dates after book check are all test grades. Your outline is a test, a full test grade. Your rough draft is a test grade. Turn it in on time because you will not get full credit. You lose a letter grade every day it's late. And your final draft is a double test grade. Same rule. If you do not turn it in on time, you cannot get full credit. You lose a letter grade every day that it's late. Just don't be late. Have it ready. Now, you 7th graders have a little bit of a reprieve on the very first project. You don't have to write a paper, but you do have to do your outline, which is actually just a topical, chronological outline of all the major events in the book. Okay, there's an example outline in Google Classroom that you can follow, but I just want to see upwards of 20 different Roman numerals that just give me the outline of the activities that Robinson Crusoe did, or the things that happened to him, and major points, all in chronological order. And then that'll be your outline that's due. your rough draft will be actually, instead of writing a paper, you're going to do a three-dimensional model of the island that Robinson Crusoe lived on during the bulk of the book. And that three-dimensional model can be made in any way that you'd like. It needs to be 3 dimensions. It cannot be a 2-dimensional flat drawing of the island. So I've had people do shadow box type displays, a shoebox that has been built up with clay. There's a board with the island built out of clay. Little wooden pieces. There's been many different interpretations of this project. I have no a stipulation other than that it be detailed. It show all of the major locations, all the 2 homes that he had, where he first arrived, any major event that happened on the island. I'd like for you to identify its location on your model. But how you produce this is fully up to you. So be as creative as you can be and produce something that's fun, something that will be impressive. So to turn in your rough draft, you simply need to take a photograph of the product that you're preparing as it stands on the day that the rough draft is due. So essentially it's a rough model. Start the project, show that you've begun the project, take a photograph of it, and upload it to Google Classroom. And that's how you're going to turn in your rough draft, and that's worth a test grade. And then on the final test, for the final test grade or for the final project delivery, you're going to bring your model to class, and that'll be a double test grade. So for Robinson Crusoe only, it's not a writing project, it's a 3-dimensional model, and it's a lot of fun. I hope that you enjoy the book, and you really do need to make a decision that you plan to enjoy the book. As I said, this is not necessarily meant to entertain you. It's a wonderfully entertaining story. It's very exciting, but it's not going to necessarily entertain you in the same way that your favorite TV show does. So you need to make a mature decision to read the book or listen to the book with the intention of enjoying it as much as you can, because a great many people have enjoyed this book over a great many number of years. And so the story is valuable to know. It has merit. You'll hear references to this story in other literature and on television and movies and in articles for the rest of your life. There are many lessons to be learned from this story, and many great people that have come before you have read this story and added the information in this story, the lessons learned and so forth, to their own life, and you can do that too. All right, well, get out there and get your book and read it and enjoy doing it, and I'll see you in class.